Good night. Today I'm going to tell you stories about the deep web. Please subscribe and comment. Let's go. Hey, I'm going to tell you something about me that has me disturbed. I'm Lucas. I'm 19 years old, and I moved to a new city a few months ago because of my parents' divorce. I left my hometown behind, along with my childhood friends, Miguel, Andre, and João. To keep in touch, we do video calls every week, usually late at night after I'm done studying for college exams. It's the thing I look forward to the most, to feel like I'm still connected to them. Living alone in a tiny apartment, far from everything I know, isn't easy. These calls are like a release. We laugh, talk nonsense, reminisce about old times. But there was this one night, a Friday, when something happened that I don't even know how to describe. I'm still trying to figure out what the heck it was. Just thinking about it gets me kind of anxious, but I'm going to tell you everything exactly how it went down. It was around midnight, and I was beat after studying calculus all night long. My room is pretty basic. Just a bed, a desk, and my computer, with the walls still kinda empty. I opened Discord, put on my headset, and joined the call with the guys. Miguel was eating a snack or something. Andre was sprawled out on his couch, and João looked hyped about something. We started chatting about exams, complaining about classes, and cracking up over some dumb stories. I was sipping coffee to stay awake, listening to them roast Andre's physics teacher. Everything was normal, like always, just us catching up. Then João switched topics out of nowhere. He said he'd found something weird online. I got curious, but I had no clue what was coming. He mentioned he was browsing some old forum, one of those nobody really uses anymore, and stumbled across a strange link. He said the post was about a haunted live stream, like a live broadcast that nobody knows the source of. João was laughing, saying it was probably just a joke, but that we had to check it out together. I'm not really into believing in that kind of stuff, so I just chuckled and said, "Send it over, man." Miguel and Andre jumped in on it too, joking that it was probably some crappy horror video. João shared the link in the call, and I clicked it without a second thought. My laptop took a bit to load. The screen kept flickering. I thought it was just my lousy internet, but I soon realized it wasn't that. The vibe in the call shifted, like a silence you couldn't shake off. My stomach did a weird flip. The screen opened to a black window, no sound, just pure darkness. I thought the link was broken, and I was about to say so to the guys, but then something showed up. It wasn't on the live stream, it was in our actual video call, like someone had joined without being invited. A dark figure, blurry, like a shadow you can't quite make out. You couldn't see a face, just an outline, but it felt like it was staring at us. My heart started racing right away, and I heard Andre say, "What the hell is this?" through the headset. Before we could even react, a low sound started, a distorted whisper. I swear I heard my name, Lucas, in a voice that seemed to come from inside my room. It wasn't just through the headset, it felt like it was behind me. I froze, not knowing what to do. I looked around my room, but there was nothing, just the darkness outside the light of the screen. The whisper kept going, saying the other guys' names too. Miguel, Andre, João, one by one. The voice was deep, drawn out, like it had an echo, but at the same time, it felt close. On the screen, the figure didn't move. It just stayed there. And I felt this heaviness, like something was pressing down on me. I heard João saying to shut it down, that it wasn't funny. I tried clicking to leave the call, but my mouse wouldn't respond. Then the voice said, clear as day, "Stop watching." My blood ran cold. I don't even know how to describe what I felt. All of a sudden, the screen went black. Everything shut off. I was left in the dark, just hearing my own rushed breathing. I yanked off my headset real quick and turned on the room light, looking all around. There was nothing, but I was shaking, my heart pounding like crazy. I grabbed my phone and texted the group, asking if the guys were okay. Miguel replied first, saying his screen went black too, and he was hearing a weird noise in his room. Andre said he thought he saw something out of the corner of his eye, but didn't dare look. João just typed, "Sorry, I shouldn't have clicked on that." Nobody wanted to talk more about what happened. I couldn't sleep right that night. Every few minutes, I felt like I'd hear that voice again. My room felt smaller, more cramped. I just wanted it to be morning already. The next day, I tried to act like nothing happened, but I couldn't ignore it. I went to class, but my mind was elsewhere, stuck on that figure and that voice. The worst part is, ever since that night, I've been hearing faint whispers through my headset, even when it's unplugged. It's so quiet sometimes I think I'm imagining it. But there are moments I swear I hear my name, just like in that call. I'm avoiding using the headset, but it doesn't seem to matter. I talked to the guys a few days later, and they're going through the same thing. Miguel said he saw a shadow in his bathroom mirror. Andre, too, said he feels like he's being watched. João doesn't even want to talk about it. I'm starting to get paranoid, checking the corners of my room all the time. My little apartment, which already felt kinda lonely, now feels suffocating. I leave the light on at night, something I've never done before. I don't know if it's just stress or if something's really happening. I tried looking up that haunted live stream, but I couldn't find anything on the forum João mentioned. It's like the post vanished. Or maybe I don't know how to search right. All I know is I can't forget that voice, or the feeling of something watching me. I told the guys we shouldn't click on anything weird again, but what if it's already too late? I don't know how to deal with this. I just want it to stop. It's been a week since this happened, and things haven't gotten better. I still hear the whispers, sometimes in the middle of the night when everything's quiet. Yesterday, I thought I saw something in the reflection of my monitor, but when I looked, there was nothing. I'm avoiding mirrors now, just like the guys are doing. Miguel texted saying he dreamed about that figure, that it was at his bedroom door. Andre's thinking of calling someone to cleanse his house, like a spiritual healer or something. João's been quiet, only sending short replies. I don't know what to think about all this. Did we imagine it? Or is something actually following us? I'm lost. I try to distract myself with college, but it's hard to focus. Every noise in the apartment puts me on edge, like I'm waiting to hear that voice again. Sometimes I blast music just to not think about it. But in the silence, it feels like I hear something, a murmur that isn't really there. I haven't told my parents. They're already dealing with enough from the divorce. I don't want them to think I'm losing it. But what if I am? Or worse, what if it's not just in my head? I'm thinking of deleting Discord, but I don't think that'll do anything. That night changed something. I can't explain it. I just know I don't feel alone in my own space anymore. I talked to a friend from college about it, without giving too many details. I just said I saw something weird online and I'm kind of freaked out. He laughed, said it's just suggestion, that we see what we want to see, but he wasn't there. He didn't hear that voice saying our names. He didn't feel that weight that seemed to crush us. I don't know if it's just my mind playing tricks, but the others are going through the same thing. How do we explain that? I'm trying not to lose it, but it's tough. Every day feels longer. I just want this to pass, somehow. I thought about getting help, like someone who knows tech, to see if it was a virus or a hack in the call. But deep down, I know it's not just that. What we saw, what we heard, doesn't seem like something you can explain with logic. I'm avoiding video calls for now, but the guys want to talk again. I think they're scared of being alone with this too. Maybe we need to talk about what's happening. But what if talking just makes it worse? What if that, I don't know, gives it more power or whatever it is? I don't know what to do. I'm just trying to get through each day. Man, I wish we'd never clicked that link. I'm writing this down just to vent, to get out what I'm feeling. Maybe it'll help me sort my head out, or at least feel like I'm not keeping it all to myself. But as I'm writing, I hear a soft noise, like a whisper, over in the corner of the room. Might be just the wind, or the upstairs neighbor. I don't know. I don't want to look right now. I just keep typing. My heart's racing again, and I'm sweating, even though it's cold. I don't know if it's real or if I'm imagining it. I just know I don't want to be alone in the dark. I'm going to leave the light on again. Maybe tomorrow I'll think straighter, or maybe this'll never go away. I talked to João today, for the first time since that night. He sounded off. His voice was kind of shaky over the phone. Said he hears stuff too, that sometimes he thinks he sees something out of the corner of his eye. Asked if I still use the headset, and I said no, but it doesn't help. He went quiet for a bit, then just said, "We messed up." I didn't know what to say, just agreed. I don't think any of us knows what to do now. I just know we can't pretend everything's fine. That call changed something, and I don't know if it'll go back to normal. I just want us to be okay, for this to pass. I don't know how, but there's gotta be a way. I thought about moving to a different apartment, to see if it helps leave this behind. But what if it's not the place? What if it's something that's with us, like connected somehow? Miguel said he's gonna travel to the countryside, stay with his grandparents for a few days. Andre's praying more, said it's helping a bit. But I don't know what I believe in anymore. I just know I'm tired, mentally drained. Every noise puts me on edge. I don't know how long I can keep going like this. Maybe I need to talk to someone, even if they think I'm crazy. I can't carry this alone. Writing right now. I'm trying to remember every detail of that night. Maybe there's something we missed, some warning or clue. But all I remember is the fear, the voice, and that shadow on the screen. I don't know if it was real or just a trick, but what's happening now doesn't feel like imagination. The whispers keep going, and yesterday I saw something in the reflection of the window, just for a second. I don't know if I want to know what it is. I just want it to leave me alone. I'm thinking of deleting everything that reminds me of that call. But what if it doesn't work? What if this is already here with me somehow? I don't know. I'm starting to avoid going out at night, even if it's just to grab something from the corner store. Seems dumb, but I feel like something's watching me when it's dark. Might be pure paranoia, but I can't help it. My sleep's a mess. I wake up every few hours thinking I heard something. My grades in college are slipping. I can't focus. The professors have noticed. They ask if everything's okay. I say yeah, but it's not. I don't know how to explain this to anyone without sounding nuts. Only the guys get it, because they're going through the same thing. But even with them, I don't feel comfortable sharing everything. It's rough. As I write, my headset's on the desk, unplugged. But I swear, I heard a faint sound coming from it, like a murmur. Might be just in my head, but I got up and put it in a drawer. I don't even want to look at it right now. My room's quiet, but it's not a peaceful quiet, it's heavy. I'm thinking of turning on the TV, just to have some noise. Maybe I should talk to someone, like a therapist, to see if this is just trauma or something. But what if it's not? What if there's really something here? I don't know what's worse, imagining it or believing it's real. I just want this to end. Look, I never thought my life would come to this, My name's Anna, I'm 34 years old, and I'm a nurse at a public hospital here in my hometown. I work the night shift because it pays a little more, but even then, the money's never enough. After my divorce, the debt's just piled up, and I'm always picking up extra shifts to try to make ends meet. The hospital's always a mess, short on everything from gauze to staff to cover shifts. I'm used to the exhaustion, the dimly lit hallways. But there's one wing that always makes me uneasy. The maternity ward. It's kinda empty at night, with hardly any births. But it's got this weird vibe I can't put into words. Like, you feel like someone's watching you, even when you're alone. Well, what happened a few weeks ago hit me in a way I can't shake off. It was one of those nights when I was covering a shift for a coworker who didn't show up. I was already beat, since I'd worked 2 shifts back-to-back with no break. I was in the maternity ward, sorting some paperwork in the control room, when Dr. Carlos showed up. He's a well-respected doctor at the hospital, but he keeps to himself, barely talks to anyone. Everyone knows he handles tougher cases, but nobody really knows what he does. He came over with a serious look, asked if I needed extra cash. I, of course, said yes, because who doesn't, right? He offered me a side gig, something that paid well, but needed total discretion. Said it was to help with special cases in maternity. I don't know why, but I felt a knot in my stomach when I heard that. At first, I didn't quite get what he was talking about. He explained he needed me to monitor some births and tweak a few birth records, but at the same time, something in the back of my mind was warning me I was getting into some deep trouble. I couldn't shake that gut feeling telling me to back out. That same night, after Dr. Carlos left, I started hearing a strange noise while walking down the maternity ward hallway. It was a baby crying, real soft, like it was coming from far away. I thought it was a newborn in the ward, but when I checked, there was no one in the cribs. The few babies there were asleep, and so were their moms. The sound stopped for a bit, and I thought it was just in my head, pure exhaustion. I went back to the control room, sat down, and started organizing the papers he'd given me. But while I was writing, the crying started again, louder, almost like a whimper. My heart started racing, but I tried to convince myself it was nothing, just my imagination playing tricks. The next day, I went back to my shift still thinking about that sound. I tried to ignore it, focus on work, but every time I picked up one of those records to alter, the crying would start again. It was like someone was right beside me, pleading for help. But there was no one there. I'd look around, check the empty rooms, and nothing. I started feeling this heaviness in my chest, this anxiety that wouldn't go away even when I stopped touching the papers. There were times I swore the crying was coming from inside the walls. I know it sounds crazy, but I wasn't imagining it. It was real. You could feel the sadness in that voice. I started wondering if I'd made the right choice. After a few days, things got worse. I was in the control room again, changing one of the records, when I noticed something on my clipboard. There were these tiny marks, like little handprints, right at the edge of the paper. It wasn't ink or dirt. It looked like someone had pressed down hard on the paper, but with tiny, baby-sized hands. I froze. Couldn't even move my hand to drop the clipboard. I looked around, heart pounding, but no one was there. Those marks weren't there before, I'm sure of it. I tried to wipe them off, but they wouldn't budge, like they were etched into the paper. I didn't know what to do. I just wanted to get out of there as fast as I could. I went to the bathroom to splash water on my face, try to calm down. While I was there, staring at the mirror, I heard the crying again, louder, almost like a scream. It felt like it was coming from everywhere, like more than one child was crying at the same time. My hands were shaking as I splashed water on my face, and all I could think was that I needed to stop this. But how? I'd already taken the money, already altered the papers. I couldn't back out without explaining to Dr. Carlos, and I didn't have the guts to face him. I went back to the hallway, trying to tell myself it was just stress, but I knew it wasn't. Something wrong was happening, and I couldn't ignore it. That night, I decided I wouldn't touch any more records until I figured out what was going on. But Dr. Carlos called me the next day, asking if I'd finished what he asked. His voice was calm, like nothing weird was happening. But I couldn't stop thinking about those handprints on the paper. I told him everything was fine, but my voice was shaky. He must have noticed, because he asked if I was okay, if there was a problem. I said no, just tired, but I don't think he bought it. I hung up with this awful feeling, like he knew something I didn't, and the crying didn't stop. It felt like it followed me all the way home, haunting me wherever I went. When I got home after that shift, I couldn't sleep right. Every time I closed my eyes, I'd hear that crying sound, faint, but there. I got up in the middle of the night, went to the kitchen for water, and I swear I saw something in the window's reflection. It was a small shadow, the size of a child, standing in the corner of the living room. When I turned around, there was nothing there, just the silence of the house. My heart was in my throat, but I didn't scream, didn't do anything. I just went back to my room and locked the door. I spent the rest of the night awake, lights on, waiting for dawn. I didn't want to go back to the hospital, but I needed the money. I was stuck. In the following days, things only got worse. The handprints started showing up in other places, like on my bag, on a notebook I use for work stuff. The crying was more frequent, more desperate, like it was begging for something I couldn't understand. There were times I'd feel a cold touch on my arm, but when I looked, no one was there. I started avoiding the maternity ward as much as I could, asking for shifts in other areas, but it wasn't always possible. And Dr. Carlos kept pushing, saying there were more records to adjust. I didn't know how to say no, but I couldn't handle it anymore. I felt guilty, like I'd done something awful. I started looking into the names on the records I'd changed. I wanted to know if there was any connection, if they were real cases or not. I didn't find anything solid, just that some names didn't match the births at the hospital. It was like those kids never officially existed. That messed with my head, because I saw some of those births happen. I saw the moms. I saw the babies. How could they not exist? Was everything being hidden for some reason? The more I thought about it, the more the crying made sense. It was like they wanted me to know something, to do something to help. But I had no idea where to even start with this. I talked to a co-worker, Marcia, who's been at the hospital longer than me. I didn't tell her everything, of course, just asked if she'd ever heard of anything weird in the maternity ward. She went quiet for a second, then said she'd heard some stories, but didn't believe them. She mentioned older nurses who claimed to feel things there, hear noises at night, but said it was just rumors. She didn't seem convinced of her own words, and I didn't push. But while we were talking, I heard the crying again, faint, coming from the hallway. Marcia didn't seem to hear a thing, but I knew it wasn't my imagination. It was there, calling me, pulling at me. I decided I needed to confront Dr. Carlos. I couldn't carry this weight alone anymore. I set up a time to talk with him at the end of a shift, in a private room. When I got there, he was calm as ever, but I was nervous, stumbling over my words as I tried to explain what was happening. I told him about the noises, the marks, how I felt. He listened without interrupting, but his look was cold, like he wasn't surprised at all. When I finished, he just said I was tired, that I needed rest, and not to worry about those things. That answer made me even more uneasy. He knew something, I'm sure of it, but he wasn't going to tell me what it was. After that talk, I decided I wouldn't touch any more records, even if it cost me my job. But Dr. Carlos didn't stop reaching out, always with that calm tone, saying I had a commitment. I started avoiding him, switching my hours, but it seemed like he always knew where I was. And the weird stuff didn't stop. The crying got louder, the handprints showing up in places I couldn't imagine, like on the bathroom mirror at the hospital. I started feeling like I wasn't just being watched, but followed by something that wanted me to stop. I just didn't know how to stop, caught between fear and the need to keep my job. I'm writing this now because I don't know what else to do. It's been days since I've slept properly, since I could eat without feeling this tightness in my chest. Yesterday, during my shift, I saw one of those handprints on my ID badge, like it was made with mud or something. I tried to clean it off, but it wouldn't come off, and the crying started again, so loud I almost dropped everything and ran. I didn't tell anyone at the hospital, because I think they'd call me crazy. But I know what I saw. I know what I heard. It's not in my head. Something's wrong in that maternity ward. Something tied to the babies I helped disappear from the records. I think about giving the money back to Dr. Carlos, about reporting everything to the authorities, but I'm scared of what he might do, scared of losing my job, scared of what could happen to me. What if these things I'm feeling don't stop? What if it's something I can't control? I don't know if it's guilt, something supernatural, or if I'm really losing it. I just know I can't handle carrying this alone anymore. Every time I close my eyes, I hear that crying, see those handprints. It's like they're asking for help, begging me to do something. But I don't even know what I could do to help them. I don't know what my next step is going to be. I'm thinking about quitting, about leaving this town, but I don't know if that'll fix anything. What if these things follow me? What if I can never get free of this? I'm living with constant fear, always looking over my shoulder. The hospital, which used to be my livelihood, now feels like a place I need to escape. I don't know how to explain to people what's happening, or if anyone would even believe me. I just want a way out, a way to make this stop. I don't know how to keep going like this. For now, I keep hearing the crying at night, even when I'm not at the hospital. It comes at random times, sometimes in the middle of a dream, sometimes while I'm washing dishes. The handprints show up in the weirdest places, like on my phone screen or on a random piece of paper. I don't know if it's a warning, a threat, or a plea for help. I just know it's wearing me down, and I don't know how much longer I can take it. If anyone has an idea of what to do, please help me. I just want peace. I just want this to be over, to leave me alone. I don't know if I'll go back to working in the maternity ward after this. Maybe I'll ask for a transfer to another unit, or maybe I'll quit altogether. Doctor, Carlos keeps texting me, asking about the records, but I don't reply anymore. I'm scared to face him again, to hear that calm voice while feeling like there's something deeply wrong behind it. What's happening to me doesn't have an explanation, or at least I can't find one. I just know I don't feel safe anymore. Not at the hospital, not at home. Something's watching me, and I don't know how to get away from it. For the time being, I'm just trying to get through each day. I avoid going near the maternity ward when I don't have to. Avoid touching any paper related to those cases. But I don't know if that's enough. The crying is still there. The marks keep showing up, and I don't know if this will ever stop. I'm writing this as a way to vent, to get out what's suffocating me. If anyone reads this, I don't know if they'll believe me, but I swear it's true. I don't know what comes next. I just hope this doesn't drag me down with it. I don't know if I'll make it out, but I have to try.